Greetings, everyone. Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Tonya White Johnson from Exclusively You Career Management. I want to take a moment to welcome you and thank you so much for joining me today on this webinar. Before we get started with today's webinar, which is on employer expectations, we're going to share with you what employers, organizations, corporate companies, what they are expecting, what they are looking for in today's candidates. So before we get started with that, though, I'd like to just take a moment and tell you a little bit more about me, who I am. As I stated before, I'm Dr. Tonya White Johnson. I have a doctorate in business administration with an emphasis in marketing. So you will, when you're working with me or when you're listening to the webinars and the podcasts that I offer, you will hear a hint of marketing in everything that I do, because as we know, marketing is so important. Presentation is so important. In everything we do, we market ourselves, and it's extremely important, especially in interviewing and when we're applying for new jobs. How well we present ourselves is really going to be the key to a successful interview that will result in you getting the job. I also have a master's in business administration, a bachelor's, and an associate's in management. My background is in hospitality management for 13 plus years. I was in hospitality management started out as a reservations manager and ended as a front office manager for several hotels in the downtown area. I had 6 departments and have hired and trained hundreds of people. I've written training manuals. I've written job descriptions for several departments. I have 10 plus years in academia as well. For 5 of those years, I was Director of Career Services for a local university where I assisted hundreds of students in getting jobs and starting their careers. Currently, I am a professor. Typically, I work with online universities. I do teach a leadership class for a local university. I am an entrepreneur. I am a career coach, and I'm also a business owner. So I just took a moment to share all of that with you, just to let you know that I have been very, very blessed in my experiences and the things that I've learned over the years of the short amount of time that I've been on this earth. We will not get into age on this webinar, but I've been blessed, and because I've been so blessed, I absolutely enjoy what I do, but I also enjoy sharing information with you. So I do coach. I do have coaching packages that I offer, and I do help you with your resume building and cover letter applications and things of that nature. But my webinars, my podcasts, and the information that I share in those, they are completely free, and I absolutely enjoy sharing little tidbits and nuggets of wisdom that you may not otherwise hear somewhere else for free. So I'm very excited about this particular webinar on employer expectations. I hope those of you who maybe are just finishing up college and you're looking for that first job, or you're just getting out of high school, you're looking for that first job, or even if you are transitioning careers, it is my prayer that something in this webinar will help you as you apply for and as you go out there and get your job of your dreams. So let's go ahead and get started with employer expectations. Some of the things that we will share today will be on academic skills, technical skills, critical thinking, interpersonal skills, teamwork skills, communication skills, job performance and productivity, proper workplace behavior and conduct, strong work ethic, and adherence to ethical standard and laws. And while that may seem like a lot, we will keep it brief. We won't go into too much detail, but we do want to make sure that you have a good foundation and a good understanding of what employers are looking for. So let's take a look at academic skills. I'm pretty sure we all know what, academic skills are. It's our required education and qualifications. But what I really want you to really stop and take a listen to and really look at when you are searching for a job you want to really take a look at the job description. And I know we all do. We kind of browse it a little bit and we go, oh, yeah, that's a great job. That's a great job for me. I have some of these skills. And then we put it in our resume, and then we wonder why we didn't hear back from them. And typically it is because we really did not look at all the little details on that job description. HR managers and department managers like myself, we take a lot of time and put a lot of energy and effort into fine-tuning the job description so that we can make sure that we have a good fit in the candidate that we're going to hire for the job. And so when you don't really pay attention to the job description, then we wind up weeding you out. And back in the day, you would find the HR manager physically going through the resumes, and putting them in different piles of, I'm going to call back, and piles of absolutely not. Well, today they have computers to do that. Without going into too much detail, they have databases that look for the exact wordings that they have on their job description. They're looking for the exact qualifications. They're looking for the exact job descriptions. And if that information is not on your resume and not on your cover letter, then you're going to wind up in that do not call pile. So you want to make sure that you have the required education. If a position is looking for someone with a master's degree and you have a bachelor's, that's not, you don't meet the requirements. Now, unless they say specifically that they will take a look at experience in lieu of education, or if they say bachelor's and or master's preferred, then you have an opportunity at that job and you should go ahead and submit your resume. I do not encourage, I do not suggest that you submit your resume on faith that, they're going to hire me. You submit your resume for the jobs that you are qualified for. Now, I will say this. If there are, say there are 10 qualifications, 10 skills that they're looking for, and you have 8 out of those 10 skills, I would still say yes. Submit your resume, submit your letter of application, and highlight those skills that you do have. As an employer, I'm not going to throw somebody out because they don't have all of the skills. I think it was Laura Griner who said that she would much rather hire somebody who was likable and trainable than someone who was skilled and qualified and was not likable and trainable. And I've always adhered to that motto myself, so I know for a fact that that's very true. So absolutely, if you meet most of those qualifications and have the required education, go for it, submit that resume, and submit your cover letter. As far as academic skills goes, they're also looking for a good foundation in math, science, and English. They want to know also that you can read, write, listen, and speak well. So one way that they can gauge whether you listen well, even before they meet you in person, is by making sure that you follow the directions on the job description. If they said email the application or email your resume, you don't want to call them. I know some general managers that I've worked with in the past that they were like, if you call them and they specifically said email us or upload it to this site and you wind up dropping it off, or you call them, that says that you don't listen very well to directions, and right away you will put in the do not call back pile. So even though you may think you're being, confident and proactive and, I'm just going to drop it off, no, you don't want to do that. You want to show them that you can take direction and that you can listen well. So you also want to be able to apply your academic knowledge to the on-the-job task. So don't think that just because you have a degree that gets you the job. No, employers want to know that you can take theory and put it into practical use. So they will find this information out on your resume as well as in your in-person interview. The next thing we want to talk about is your technical skills. Now, what are those skills they're looking for on the job description? You know, they have particular skills that they're looking for. You want to make sure that you meet those skills. You also want to have a list of transferable skills on your resume. Transferable skills are those skills that you can take from one job to another. Typically, they are computer literacy skills. Most of us know, and if you don't know, you want to brush up on your Microsoft Office suite. Can you use Microsoft Word? Can you use PowerPoint? Can you use Excel? So you want to make sure that you brush up on those particular skills when you are applying for a job, because those are the very basics. And then when you take a look at the job description, typically you will see specialized skills that they're looking for. So do you meet those particular qualifications? Do you have that software skill that they're looking for that particular job? If they're looking for certifications, you want to make sure that your certifications are updated as well. So that's a look at the technical skills. Critical thinking skills, now this is very, very huge. You want to be able to demonstrate that you have critical thinking skills. You don't want, I often tell my students in my career development classes, I often tell them that you don't want to just say you can do something. You want to demonstrate that you can do it. So when it comes down to problem solving, you know, you don't want to just say, oh yeah, I have problem solving skills. You want to be able to show in that resume how you solved problems. Nowadays, employers are looking for not just a list of the activities and the tasks that you did on the job. They are looking for your contribution to the organization via your accomplishments. What did you help the organization accomplish? They will also, if you make it to the interview, they will also ask you behavioral type questions, what if type questions, or tell me a time when type questions to gauge your problem-solving skills. So along with problem-solving skills, you're also looking at effective decision-making and the ability to learn new tasks quickly. So all of those are taken into consideration when we're looking at your critical thinking skills. Interpersonal skills are so huge. I just quoted the Lori Greiner quote about preferring to hire someone that was trainable and likable rather than someone that was skilled and not necessarily likable. So what we're looking for when we're looking for interpersonal skills, we are looking for a positive attitude, a pleasant demeanor. Believe it or not, your aura, your attitude can come through your resume. It depends on how you write it, what you're saying when you write it. We can tell on a resume if you are a negative or a positive person. Now, it certainly comes through if you get to that interview phase. So you want to make sure that you have a positive attitude, a pleasant demeanor, good manners, please and thank you. Thank you so much. In your cover letter, your ending sentence should be something like, thank you so much for taking the time to read this cover letter. Thank you for your consideration and your time. You know, good manners are just so, so very important. You know, not just assuming that they have to read your letter of application and your resume. You must have a cooperative, can-do attitude, and you must be willingness to try. Now, when we talk about a cooperative, can-do attitude, again, if you get to that interview stage, they will ask you those behavioral type questions, those what if, or tell me about a time when. So you want to be very careful. If you're that person who always says, you know, well, we tried this last year and it didn't work, you have to be careful if you're that person. You want to rethink your attitude and how you present things. They want people who are willing to try, who's that person that says, well, yeah, sure, we can do that. I believe that as a team we can make this happen. So interpersonal skills are so very important as well. Teamwork skills, going right into teamwork skills, they are looking for productive team members. How do I prove that I was productive on a resume? Again, we are looking for quantifiable results, not just a bullet listing of what you did, what your job task was, but did you help them increase sales by 10% on a quarterly basis? What was your contribution to the profit of the organization? How well do you get along with others? Do you share information? Obviously, again, solve your problem-solving skills. And do you perform assignments as requested? Do you do the job as you are asked to do? Now, communication skills is kind of all that we've been talking about all along, but they can tell your written communication skills based on your cover letter and based on your resume. And yes, it is super, super, super important to give an application letter or a cover letter along with your resume. That will give you a heads up on other candidates, because most people today are still just giving the resume when you can use the cover letter to your advantage and highlight the skills and qualifications that they've asked about on the job description. You can highlight those in your cover letter that will help you show that you are a good candidate for this position. Now, verbal communication is when they call you for the interview or when you actually get into the interview. Do you have the ability to express your thoughts well? Are you articulating well? And finally, are you listening? In another webinar, I share more about the art of listening, because that is so much more important than we think it is. Job performance and productivity, what do we mean by that? So job performance refers to how well an employee carry out the job tasks and work assignments. So are you productive as you are carrying out the job task? It is one thing, are you efficient as well? So it is one thing to get the job done, but how did you get the job done? Let's take this example. Say you are and I'll just use, a task like a dishwasher. Say you wash all of the dishes and you got all the dishes done in the time allotted, but the kitchen is still a mess. So your job performance is very low. Yes, you were able to get those dishes done in the allotted time that they gave you, but that kitchen is a mess. That says a lot about your job performance. Now, productivity refers to the effectiveness of the employee's work, and that's kind of where we're headed with this as well. How productive are you? Do you get all the work done in the allotted time? How long does it take you? Basically, how much are you costing me on this job is what employers want to know. Proper workplace behavior and conduct is another area that employers are looking at. They want to know how well do you follow the workplace rules? Do you work hard? Do you follow the health and safety rules? Do you maintain a clean and orderly work area? And are you punctual and reliable? Now, they will find a lot of this information out in the interview as well as when they call your references. So you want to make sure that you have good references, that you left your previous jobs on a good note, and that your employers, your coworkers are going to say good things about you in these areas, because it's very important for employers to know that you're going to do what you need to do on the job, that you are a hard worker, that you are punctual and reliable. Do you have a strong work ethic? And essentially that means, do you have the inner drive to set and meet goals? Do you understand and complete assignments? Do you develop efficient work processes? And can you complete jobs with little supervision? Do we have to micromanage you to make sure that you get the job done? Or can I give you a project and I just know that you're going to take care of it? Can you maintain self-control in stressful situations? Again, some ways that we can find the answer to this is in the interview when we ask you what-if type questions, or when we ask you behavioral type questions, or also today they do pre-job assessments. And sometimes we don't pass those personality assessments or those job assessments because they're asking us these what-if types questions and we don't pass them. So that's another area where we gauge the strong work ethic. Are you loyal to the organization? How do we gauge that? We gauge that when the employer is asking you, the interviewer is asking you about your previous job. Now, one of the things you do not want to do is you do not want to go on a negative rant about your previous job. Why? What does that say to the employer? It says that if something happened on this job, this person is going to do the exact same thing to us. So you're certainly going to wind up on the do not hire and do not call list. Are you an ethical employee? What does that mean? That means, do you act honestly and with integrity? Are you fair to everyone? Do you obey the law? And are you trustworthy? Again, we can find out these things based on through your references that you give us, as well as through some of the personality assessments, the job assessment tests that we give you, and in the interview using behavioral type questions. So that was it. That was actually a lot quicker than I anticipated. I didn't want to keep you very long on this, but I do hope that you learned something from it. You may contact me at TonyaWhiteJohnson.com. You may also email me at exclusivelyyoucoaching@gmail.com if you'd like to learn more about single career management subjects, or if you would like to take a virtual career class at your own pace. I do offer a career development class where we learn the ABCs. We learn the very basics of resume writing, cover letter writing, to interviewing skills, to one of our final assignments is a actual Skype interview at the end of the class to gauge what you've learned throughout the class. So I do have that, and I can chat with you about it. If you're interested in coaching packages, please feel free to go to TonyaWhiteJohnson.com, look at the coaching packages that we offer, from leadership classes to personal development classes. I do offer a 20-minute free consultation, so if you're not sure what you need or where you are or how I can help you at this time, please, I'm happy to speak with you in our consultation and just kind of chat with you and see how I can be of help. So thank you so much again for taking the time to listen. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And don't forget to embrace your greatness.